So, anyone got any news?
I've got a couple of bits. I'm going to skip over like the little one. There was stuff about Pokemon cards that have sold for loads of money, but we'll talk about that another week because I want to get on to talking about the dice stuff. There's one big one for me, which is there's the player's guide for Abomination. Abomination Vaults is out. This will be interesting to, I think, to our friend who's just started playing Pathfinder. So the beginner's box for Pathfinder Second Edition is set in a town called Otari. There was then a short adventure that you could play called Troubles in Otari, which took the characters you played in the beginner's box and took them up to a higher level. There is now an adventure path, which is one big dungeon crawl they're doing called an Abomination Vaults, set in the same town. So now you can start a new character in the place you've already played in the beginner's box, and you can take them all the way up to 11th level. And then from there you could probably play Ruby Phoenix. So this is, if you've played against the Aeon Throne in Starfinder, this is the idea for second edition. It's kind of an intro adventure path, a shorter adventure path. And we've got a player's guide for it, which has come out, and it's free. It's got some some backgrounds for you. It's got a new pantheon that you can follow as a cleric. Pantheons are really cool. They're like collections of gods, so you can follow a collection of stargazing gods rather than just a particular god. And it's got loads of stuff about Otari, and because it's a player's guide, it's non-spoiler, so it'll tell you everything you need to know about the town as a character, people who would be good for your character to have met, to give them a link to the other characters, but it won't spoil anything about what's actually going to be in the adventure, so you can read the whole thing and you can make your character for it. I think it's really nice. It's worth, it's free. Go and have a look at it, see if you fancy playing Abomination Vaults.
That sounds terrific. And frankly,
Awesome.
if there isn't a rock club that's going to become called the Abomination Vaults, then I don't know what. Because that is the best name for a rock club. Alex, do you play any systems? What do you tend to sit around the table with?
It's what systems I don't play.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit older than I probably make out to be. I've been playing RPGs since 88, 89.
Wow.
And so we started off with Dungeons and Dragons, of course, and then I've tried everything from Tunnels and Trolls to Pathfinder, Starfinder. My favorite at the moment, and I've gone back to it, and we're trying to get a game together, is BattleTech. I am a huge mech fan.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely. So I'm actually probably going to be DMing a game of that soon, and that'll be really exciting. But yes,
Nice.
I've played a few systems.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's very reassuring and super awesome. Have you played in the sort of the PC crossovers with BattleTech and things like that?
Yeah, so I was a huge MechWarrior fan.
Yeah, me too,
MechWarrior
man.
Mercenaries was absolutely the most amazing.
So good.
And then I think there was the new MechWarrior came out last year, and a bunch of us played it for a while. We all played multiplayer as well. That was pretty cool. But there's just something about the BattleTech itself, because you can play in the mech all the time, but the BattleTech universe in regards to RPG, you're actually playing as the pilot or even the mechanic, whatever the case is. So mechs are there, but they don't have to be the predominant aspect. And when it comes to storylines, I love the clan's invasion of the inner spheres. Like that for me is an immense space opera style event of story, and so that's exciting to relive certain parts of that space opera as well.
Oh man, I don't know about you, but I want to go and play it right now.
Mercenaries is one of the MechWarrior Mercenaries is just such a great game. I shouldn't admit this, but when I was a student, when there was nothing good on TV, we used to set up computer versus computer MechWarrior Mercenaries battles and just watch them like we were watching live sport, because the game was that good.
It was so good, so good.
Talking about live sport and that sort of stuff, did you guys ever watch the yearly Eve competition?
No.
Eve Online, huge game.
Oh yeah,
I've played way too many MMOs. Don't hold that against me. But I don't know if they still do it. It's been a while since I watched it. But they used to do a yearly competition where all the biggest guilds or corporations would field a team, and they'd fight it out, and then you'd have brackets and everything else. So we used to get together, and on the big screen or on the projector, we'd all gather around and watch the Eve tournament. And that was insane. There was a couple of years where you're like, yeah, I could be watching sport, but I'd rather watch a bunch of spaceships shoot each other up. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. And we're getting a lot of love for Eve in the chat, and BattleTech as well. Our very own Scott Wolfgang Hemingway is in the chat. He loves Clan Ghost Bear and House Davian. So there we go.
Davian for life. Melissa Steiner Davian's my bae. For anyone who does know about it, mine. All right.
Oh, amazing! And hey, so monstrous, and hey, B Daddy. So welcome joining us. Awesome. Well, that sounds very good. So Abomination Vaults. Ross, do you have any news you'd like to bring to the table?
I've got one piece of news. It's like a rumor piece of news, but along with the D&D film that's coming out eventually with Chris Pine, apparently, Hollywood Reporter. Now, don't quote me on this as being factual, but it's according to them. Derek Kolstad, who is the creator of the John Wick series, is developing with Paramount is developing a D&D series as well. So apparently there's a D&D series coming out as well as the movie. So watch this space.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could be quite interesting because certainly for any of you if I'm fortunate enough to have seen the first D&D movie, I mean it's pretty bad. I don't know.
Second one.
And I didn't know there's a second one.
No, most people didn't.
Public health service just like, no, we can't show this film, guys. Just out of your opinions, sort of very quickly, do you think D&D? Do you think it can be made into a film, or do you think it's actually one of those things that would be better as a series to properly get the feeling of role playing and having a group and going through an adventure? What do you think? What do you think, Dan?
Oh! I mean, easily. It's I mean, especially if it's Forgotten Realms, it's the most generic fantasy setting that there is. It's what most fantasy shows are. So yeah, you could easily. All you need is a half decent director with a few fantasy stories, and you can put it together, slap the D&D branding on it, and it'll sell. Easy.
Okay. And what about you, Ross? What do you think?
Yeah, I think with the success of The Witcher and stuff, the Netflix show. It shows that people want a little bit of. I think it lends itself better to a TV show. I think because you can have different, you could have different parties as each episode doing different things, or I think it lends itself better to a TV show.
Yeah. A bit more character development, a bit more sort of stories. And would you agree with that, Alex? I think it's a given.
I'm actually going to go right in the middle of Ross and Dan and say it needs to be like Star Trek, where you have multiple movies that are maybe supported by a series, that the movies then bring that information or that acknowledgement to the series going, hey, this exists, for everyone who doesn't know it exists. But you need more than 2 hours to tell a D&D story.
Yeah, very interesting. I think actually that would be the winning format, wouldn't it? And then have lots of exciting things going on. Very good.
If it was an Eberron series, I'd be going nuts for it. That would be great.
Dark Sun, man. Oh, Spelljammer all the way.
Yeah, Spelljammer.
Excellent.
Every new book that comes out for D&D, all the community are always like, it's Spelljammer. It's got to be Spelljammer. It's definitely going to be Spelljammer.
Please be Spelljammer.
It's got to be Spelljammer now. It's not Spelljammer.
Never Spelljammer.
Brilliant stuff. Well, that's very good. We'll keep close eyes on that D&D film. I'm sure many people are. It's shaping up to be quite interesting, but very early days yet. And any other news from the Danger Club or our guest?
Not for me.
Not for me.
That's all I've got today.
Well, in that case, let's put the pesky world outside out of our vision and instead focus on our wonderful guest, Alex. Now, we've had a little bit of a teaser about how Level Up Dice started, but let's do a bit more of a deep dive on that.